been about 4 months now since I bought my bike. I've been thrilled to see the response to my video review, which was also the first video on this YouTube channel. Right now it's at about 5,500 views and counting. Several comments have asked if and when I will be sharing an update now that I've been able to ride it for a while. My initial plan was to wait 6 months, but with as much as I ride, I've become very familiar with this bike at this point, and I don't think 2 more months is really going to change anything. I also ride so much and so aggressively that I think it's fair to say that I've put much more than 6 months worth of abuse into this bike, relative to the average hobby rider. I've had some really great times with this bike. It feels like it has been so much longer than just 4 months. It's helped me take my riding to the next level, and most importantly makes me want to get out and ride as much as possible. I've had some bad moments too though, from crashes to breaking stuff on my bike, but luckily nothing bad enough to stop me yet. But enough about me. You're here to see how the bike has held up and what I think about it after riding it for a while. Well, let's start with the modifications. Firstly, I changed to wider 2.8-inch tires versus the stock 2.6. And it's not that I necessarily wanted wider tires, but they happened to come on the wheel set that I had to buy. Yeah, I trashed one of the stock wheels after the bike fell off of my friend's platform rack on his truck. It still hurts to think about it. So aside from a couple scratches on the frame, the front wheel was bent as well as the handlebars. Other than that, the fact that the bike fell off a truck on the interstate, I think can attest to its durability. I did notice a big difference in grip with the 2.8s. It'll make you a bit slower as you're climbing, but faster on the downhills. In my experience, it's a worthwhile trade-off for my riding style. So I also replaced the handlebars out of necessity, and then the stem just because I had a nicer one laying around. So the only thing I've broken from riding the bike is the saddle. I bent one of the rails pretty bad. Honestly, I'm not even really sure how it happened. I contemplated replacing it, but the WTB SL8 that came on it is surprisingly nice. It retails at about $80. So I figured I'd try fixing it before I replaced it. I was able to get it straightened out with the double crescent wrench method. It's been a few weeks and hasn't bent back, so we'll see how well it holds up. My only real complaint with this bike is that the rear end seems to come loose over time. The linkage joints, especially the one above the bottom bracket, and then the bolt-through rear axle, have both come loose on me several times. It's usually very noticeable before it gets to a point where it would become dangerous, so it's not a huge deal. A friend of mine has suggested some light-duty Loctite and said that this has happened to him before on other bikes, so I can't really say that this is a problem specific to this bike. I do ride quite aggressively and swing the back end around a lot, drifting, bump jumping, bunny hopping, and general shenanigans that apply a lot of down and lateral force to the bike. It's generally good practice to check the tension of any moving parts on your bike regularly anyway, so I can't really say that this is a major issue. Aside from this, the bike hasn't really needed any extra maintenance or repairs or anything like that. The shocks have been solid and responsive. The GX drivetrain never misses a beat. I haven't had any of the dreaded noises that need to be tracked down like you might get from a bottom bracket or head tube bearing. I haven't done any major damage to the frame despite it falling off the highway and several crashes, lots of jumping. All in all, I'm still convinced this is the best bike you can get for the money and then some. People constantly ask me about it when I'm out riding and are always astonished when I tell them that I only paid about $2 grand for it. The one upgrade I may do soon is replacing the dropper post. I'd like to try a 125mm travel post and probably replace the lever as well. The dropper height will completely depend on your body and your preferences. I keep mine pretty low so I can slam it down when I'm doing jumps and downhills, which is a lot of what I've been riding lately. But then on the uphills, I can't get it up quite high enough to get a full leg extension for pedaling. So I think the extra inch will close that gap. Other than that, there really isn't anything I feel warrants an upgrade. I'm just going to continue to enjoy it and ride as much as I can. As an added bonus, if you post cool pics of your bike on Instagram, bikesdirect.com will repost them. Hope this video has been helpful to you guys. Make sure to check out my other content. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.